Welcome. I am so glad to have you all here today. My name is Ann Staniger, and I'm going to be giving a demonstration today. So it's a little bit different, our first webinar of the semester, where we're going to walk through the exciting new toolbar that is coming soon. You won't see it in your websites quite yet, but within the next few weeks, you will start to see this new toolbar that we're going to talk about today. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and get started. I think we've got folks in here and ready to go. So thank you all so much for signing up and jumping in today. The editor toolbar is the little bar that you see when you go in to edit the body copy of your web pages, and it's been updated to be a little bit more user-friendly and kind of rebuilt from the code in the back end, which is something that we use. This is a widely used toolbar. It's not a toolbar that we necessarily built and created ourselves on this web team. This is a component that we use, and we can adjust to how we need it to work for our platform. What we'll do today is walk through how to create a page and do all of the different features of the toolbar within that page. This is the page that we're going to end up creating. You can see that we've got a table, we have some buttons, text, imagery, we've got a quote and a video. So I have all of this content prepared, and we're going to work through it together to be able to do some of these fun things, and you'll be able to see how each of the different components has been updated. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and copy in the title. So we've got a title for our page, and instead of webinar page, I'm going to go ahead and make it this page name for the title. As you can see, the menu link is going to stay webinar page like we already had it. And then I'm going to copy in some body text. So we'll go ahead and work our way through. Let's do about that far. We've got some body text here. You can see that some of the links already copied over from Word, which is nice. I am copying from Word today only because it's fast for demonstration. However, if you're editing, I would expect that most of the time you'll probably just go right into the editor and edit, unless you're writing an article in which you may copy and paste information over. Let's start with the titles. So we have some subtitles throughout. Subtitles are now going to be underneath paragraph. So when you go to paragraph, you can select heading 2. And I'm going to scroll down and select another subheading and make it a heading 2. You notice you also have heading 3. I've italicized my quote from Word, but I'm going to unitalicize it and go ahead and select the quote block quote styling option. So now we have a quote and we have a couple subheadings. Let's at this point go ahead and save. It's always a good idea to continue to save throughout your editing so that you don't lose information. Let's dive into links. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight some text in this paragraph. Oops, macaroon chocolate sounds good. You'll see that the text I'm using today is a bunch of sweet text. You can go ahead and select the link icon. It's diagonal. You can see that it's sort of sitting at an angle. That's how you know that it's the link icon and not the attachment one. So we'll go ahead and click it. I'm going to, just for the sake of demonstration, put in iastate.edu, and as you can see, the link has already been made. If you need to edit your link, go ahead and select the pencil icon and you can edit the URL path to something different. and then select this check mark to approve the change. You can also X out of here. If you would like to remove the link, you can just highlight wherever your link is and remove the link. All right, so we'll go ahead and make a link again, put in your URL, and I just hit return, or you can click that checkbox in there. Okay, next, let's look at some of the things we can do with links to enhance them. So we'll go ahead and make a couple down below that are buttons. Let's make candy canes. I'm going to go ahead and, just for the sake of demo, you might as well watch this a few times, how you make a link. Now, if you would like that link to look like a button, you're going to notice once you make the link that button style is now no longer grayed out, and you can select from the drop down different button style options. So we'll go ahead and select the red one. Once you click off of it, you'll see that the link has become red. It's going to automatically expect that you want that styling for the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and click a space because I want a new link for the next button. And I'm going to type it in, marshmallow, highlight it, link it, and style it. So now you have two button styles. Again, save so we don't lose our work. All right, so let's get into the table. I'm going to insert a table in between here. And what we're going to do is, yeah, I've got all my copy ready, is we're going to go ahead and select the insert table icon. It looks totally different. So this is kind of neat. Instead of selecting the number of rows and columns you want, you can just drag, and we're going to go with 3 columns and 4 rows. Be sure to include your header row and click on that final corner, and boom, you have your table information. With this, I'm going to go ahead and put in our headers. So this is sweet treat, and I'm going to tab over and do description, and tab over again and put me out because we're going to have dessert for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And let's go ahead and add some descriptions. We'll go about this a little bit backwards. We've got another one. And all I'm doing is highlighting the text that I want to be in that description, and I'm pasting it in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in each of the different sweet treats. Oops. I did that wrong. There we go. And brownie. Sorry, this is the one that takes the longest. So now we have a nice table. There are some additional styling options that we can do here. So it is important to indicate what your header row is. In order to do that in the new system, what you'll want to look for is this row selection. You can see that there's 3 little squares highlighted in a row, and the one on the left is the column. And we're going to select it and say that's our header row. We have indicated that specific row because our cursor was inside of that row somewhere, which is really nice. In this instance, before in the last toolbar, I always said right-click is your friend. In this toolbar, click anywhere, and then you'll get the pop-up. And from here, you can insert a row above or below. You can delete a row, select a row, and you can do the same for columns. And if you want to merge cells, you have that ability here as well. And so those are the things that we're going to go through today. One more thing, the caption. Sometimes tables require a caption. So if yours does, you can put the table caption here, and I'll just put table caption here so you can see where it shows up. And we'll save. And upon save, you can see that our page is shaping up pretty well. Things are looking good. We just have a couple more things to add. I'm going to go ahead and add a bulleted list. So I'm going to copy some text here. And let's add a bulleted list. Oh, let's go ahead and add it here. Get an extra return. Let's go ahead and make this a heading 3. And then we'll select the items we want to be a bulleted list. And there'll be a bulleted list. You can also do a numbered list. So there's some options here where you can start at specific numbers, but those are pretty easy to understand, I think, in that regard. Next, let's add a video. So video is very similar to the way you're used to editing currently. I'll insert it right here in the middle. You want to copy the share link, which I'm going to do from YouTube, and then go ahead and select the media icon at the top. So you're going to notice that there's a little music note, and that is referring to media. So video is considered media. To the left of it, a little perhaps confusing, is image. So make sure that you select the right one. For video, we're going to select media and put in our video link, which I already did. I went ahead and put in the video URL path here and then added it. I'm going to just go ahead and add it again so you can see what that looks like. It's a little postcard, and we're going to save it. And now you can see that the video is uploaded into this media video library, and select the checkbox next to the video that you want to add. So I want to add the apple pie one that I selected earlier. So I'm going to uncheck that video and do the apple pie one and insert that selected video, and it will now insert onto the page. And I'm going to save it, and you can see that it shows up nicely, and you can play within the example there, within the page. Next, we want to add an image. So I think this is about the last thing we need to go through today. To add an image, what you'll do is select your cursor where you want that image to be placed, similar to what you're used to now, and then choose the image icon and find your, I chose specific one. Let's do cupcakes, and we're going to open up the cupcakes, and you can see that it's pretty large. So the nice thing is your alternate text shows up right away when you insert the image, and you can put some alternate text in here. If your image is strictly decorative, it has no real purpose for the page, it's not important to the content, and it truly is a decorative image, you can toggle the image to be a decorative image, and that's fine. Select the check mark to save, and then you will be given some more options here right away, which is quite nice. You can sort of see a left align, a right align, and a center align. And if you hover over each one of these, the description of what will happen appears. I'm going to go ahead and just do align right and wrap text. And then you can drag a corner to resize the image so that it's a proper size for your page. The next thing I noticed was that I want these cupcakes to align with this content that's highlighted. I don't necessarily want it to go down into the croissant content. So in order to do that, you can put your cursor at the end of the paragraph, wherever you want that image to align with. And just like the current editor, you can choose end text wrapping, which will now match that image up with the text that you intend. So I'm going to go ahead and save. And you'll be able to see that we have an image, we have a video, we have links, we have bulleted lists, a table, and buttons, and we did it all in 15 minutes. That's pretty good. So with that, I think I covered most of all of the new and improved elements of the toolbar. Again, to just recap briefly, the biggest change, one of the larger changes was, oh, I forgot. I do have one more thing to show you. I'm going to show you the file. But to recap, that the table is a little bit different. You still have a horizontal rule. You still have the image break. You still have special characters, even more special characters. Subscript, superscript, bold, italic. You've got the quote, the bulleted numbered list. All this should be fairly familiar. You can indent your text still. You can align your text. You'll notice that you have a center alignment. You also have a justify alignment. So those things are coming. And also, yes, I forgot to show the caption for the photo. So I'll do that and then I'll do the file. So just like the table, it's the same little graphic where you can toggle captions on and off. So with that, you can type in something and it will appear. So you can have a little caption. All right. Captions, oops, are fairly easy. This end text wrapping deal is popping up and it's meant to really help you, and I will point that out. So you notice that you've got a little arrow here and you have a little arrow here. That's to help you add more text if you wanted to add some more text here with the image, or if you want to add more text below after the image. So that's meant to help you, and I recommend using that. I find it quite useful. Next, let's look at uploading a file. So in order to do that, you can do it very much the same way as the current toolbar. And there is one thing that we noticed that we're going to change a setting on. So it'll act more similar to what you're used to than it will today. But when you highlight the text and select the paperclip, you can choose the document, open the document, and it appears. What will happen is the text that you highlighted will stay the same and this will be hidden. However, you can update it and then save. When you add a file, you can see the files that are on your page. When you scroll down, you can see this files used section, and you'll be able to see the files that you've uploaded for this page and if they're used on any other pages. And so that's something that if you need to replace a file of the same name, for example, this is where you would go and do that. You can hit the replace button and go browse and find the file to replace it. You can also delete the file here. If you delete it, it's been removed from the server and you'll need to remove the link up above. Okay. Are there any other questions? Is there anything that I've missed? Okay. So for the most part, I'm hoping that it's a welcome change, pretty exciting change. Some of the items are much easier to manage than before. You will notice that it looks a little bit different and a little bit more updated. Oh, I messed that one up. But I think it's all fine. We may have to look at that one too. Looks like I didn't notice that when I was editing before. There we go. All right. I think that's
And we had one more question come in
okay.
about resizing buttons and adding icons with the buttons.
Oh, yeah. So we are not, this is a little bit different. I mean, it looks similar to, say, a landing page button that you might have on a landing page where you can add a little icon and you can do different things with it. This is how to very quickly add a button into the editor of the actual page. So all of those different options to like add an icon and different components aren't going to be there in this like a basic page. But if that is something you want, we can help you to do that on a landing page for sure. Keep in mind that with the new theme, buttons will be changing. So with the new theme, there will be less options in terms of like the little icons before and all that stuff because we need to follow the guidelines for the theme. However, they do look cool. They look good. There's a little like fancy arrow with it and it's all the right colors and things that are needed for the platform. So I think you'll find that they are going to do you well in the new theme. But just a note for that. Okay, great questions. Are there any other questions? Can you replace the file with a new version of filers that upload a new file? Yes. So this little replace, when you replace the file, it actually replaces the file. So you can upload a new version and it will replace the current version. And that's why we added that little option, because that way you'll be able to upload the candy cane brochure without the -1 or 2 or whatever after it. You can just hit replace and it will replace the actual file on the server. Yeah. And developers might need to help me out there if it has to be exactly the same name, but I don't think so. I think it will just replace it. So. All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you again for joining, and we look forward to seeing everybody next time. I'm going to note I have a couple little things to note that I'm going to go ahead and show you while you're here. So to see our webinars, you can go to the CALS and LAS website and look at the webinars that are upcoming. We have a new system now where you register for the webinars. The only reason for this is so that it's a lot easier for you to get that webinar on your calendar. This way, if you want to register for a couple of them, you can. I think we're going to add a link here soon where you'll be able to just register for them all at once. That may be a thing coming that you can do as well. And a note about our email list. If you would like to be on the email list, we do plan to send an email to the email list that says, reminder, we have a webinar coming up. However, if you want the little calendar invite and everything that goes in your Outlook calendar, you'll want to register for the webinars for that. And if you're on the email list, it'll be even easier for you to do because you'll be able to select the register from the email and you'll be in good shape. Also to note, you do not have to register super in advance or anything for these webinars. If you're like, it's 10:05 and I would like to join and I didn't register, don't worry about it. Just click the register button, put your information in, and then it'll get you in there. So there's no need to worry about having to register ahead of time. It's just more helpful for you if you do that, and for us to kind of know if you're coming or not. And then we will go ahead and record. This is recorded, So we will upload it to this actual webinar page, and the video will be uploaded here, most likely later today or early tomorrow. Okay. All right. With that, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of the day. See you later.